Welcome back to Seoul, South Korea. We're obviously following President Trump's foreign trip. But back home, Democrats are dealing with a number of different issues. They're dealing with election night in Virginia, hoping for a win there tonight. Holding that state, that Commonwealth, would be a big boost for the party. That's also facing some internal strife after the former head of the Democratic National Committee wrote a tell-all book attacking the former chair and the 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and her campaign. Short time ago, I spoke with Tom Perez, today's DNC chair, and began by asking him about the fallout from Donna Brazil's new book. Mr. Chairman, thanks for the time.
Pleasure to be with you, Brett.
You know, we obviously have a couple of big elections tonight. I want to talk to you about the future of your party, but obviously also deal with the controversy that's been in the news. Donna Brazil, the former interim head of the DNC, writing this book, Hacks, in which she says, essentially, the Hillary Clinton campaign controlled the purse strings and rigged the election. What is the fallout from that and your reaction to it?
Well, Brett, I've been out on the stump in Virginia over the last few days. Put about 700 miles on my car. Haven't gotten one question about Donna Brazil. What I've gotten from voters is unity. They want to move forward. They're concerned about their access to health care. They want to see Medicaid expanded. As for me at the DNC, I'm all about making sure we do everything every day to earn the trust of our voters, to make sure that we're leading with our values, and to make sure that we're building an America that works for everyone. So we're organizing, we're modernizing, and we're talking and communicating to voters and living our values every single day.
But I guess, Mr. Chairman, there is some question about that trust that you may have lost some with, especially that wing of the party, the Bernie Sanders wing. Here is Elizabeth Warren and a Sanders loyalist as well.
This is a real problem. But what we've got to do as Democrats now is we've got to hold this party accountable.
Do you agree with the notion that it was rigged?
Yes.
Is Senator Sanders angry?
Well, I can tell you that I am angry. The rank and file of the Democratic Party should choose the nominee of the party, not party elites. You cannot have a political party in a hotly contested presidential primary being controlled by one of the candidates.
So what do you tell those people who are really angry now?
Well, again, I tell them what I said from the moment I got into this race, Brett, which is I'm working hard to make sure we build a party that works for everyone, that unites everyone. And we've seen the party coming together in places like Virginia, where we did have a spirited primary, and many in the media talked about how that was going to be a Bernie-Hillary redo. And what happened in reality was two great candidates ran a high-road campaign. They talked about the issues. It resulted in record turnout on the Democratic side, and that unity has continued in the ensuing months all the way up to Election Day today. And meanwhile, on the Republican side, Ed Gillespie won by 1 point.
And we'll obviously cover this race in Virginia and the others very closely tonight and see how that all breaks down. But let me ask you about the other controversy that has been stirred up and has also raised questions in that as the Russia investigation continues, part of this is the funding of that dossier and how it started. Now we know that the Clinton campaign and the DNC paid to have this dossier, paid this company, Fusion GPS, that then funds the guy who creates this dossier about Trump. No one seems to know how that funding happened. I mean, you say you don't know. Debbie Wasserman Schultz didn't know. Robbie Mook didn't know. John Podesta didn't know. Is there anybody tied to the DNC or the Hillary campaign who knows?
Well, again, I've talked about this issue quite a bit. And again, I wasn't there, as you know, but as I understand it, you're doing opposition research in the course of a presidential campaign. We had a law firm doing that research. We were, as I understand it, the DNC and the Clinton campaign were paying for that research. And as part of that research, they obtained this information. You know, Brett, if you're not doing opposition research in a presidential campaign, you're committing malpractice, especially when you're talking about Donald Trump, who had a lot of very, very irregular ties in Russia, and because he wouldn't release his tax returns or business records,
why is it that nobody knows?
We had to. We had to do what we had to do.
It's just strange that nobody knows how it was funded, how it came to be. It seems like there's a big question mark here, and it's millions
Actually,
of dollars.
there's no question mark. Again, there was research done. The law firm of Perkins Coie did the research. We trusted them to do the research. They subcontracted for some of the work, and that's the answer to that question. And that is what happens. And by the way, as you know, the initial work was done by a conservative organization, the Free Beacon, as I understand it. And when that was
before the Chris Steele was hired for the dossier.
Well, but again, when Chris Steele was hired, I never know.
As the chairman, you see the books.
Well, again, I did not see the books in 2016 because I wasn't the chairman. And again, you know, the thing that really would have been strange and wrong is if the Democrats didn't do opposition research on Donald Trump. The Republicans did opposition research on Donald Trump during the Republican primary.
The final thing, a big Democratic backer, both for President Obama and Hillary Clinton, George Clooney, says the DNC does not have anybody yet who can beat Donald Trump in 2020. Can Democrats remain competitive in midterms without a clear leader who is going to be developing a base for a 2020 election?
Oh, we're going to have a bumper crop of candidates in 2020, and just as we've had a bumper crop of candidates in 2017, not only for the governorships, but up and down the ballots in all the states across the country that have elections. And my job is to make sure the process is fair for everybody, and that when whoever emerges wins, they have an infrastructure, a technology infrastructure, an organizing infrastructure that enables them to win.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we appreciate your time. We will follow which way your party chooses to go. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.